We are standing right on the edge of creating the single most powerful technology in human history. One of the top experts in the field calls it our final invention. Why? Because once we build it, it pretty much takes over from there.
But hey, before we get into all the cosmic, world-ending stuff, let's bring it back down to Earth. Let's make it personal. Think about your job right now, your career, the skills you've spent years building. Is any of that going to matter in just 5 years? Well, according to Dr. Roman Yampolsky, a guy who's been at the forefront of AI safety for 2 decades, the answer is deeply unsettling.
Look, we're not talking about a recession with 10% unemployment. That would be a crisis, for sure. No, the number we need to start thinking about is 99%. And according to Dr. Yampolsky, this isn't some wild guess. It's a forecast. It's based on capabilities that are coming not in some distant future, but in just a few short years.
First thing we've really got to get our heads around is the end of work as we know it. Let's just break down the timeline because it is coming way faster than almost anyone thinks. So if you look at the prediction markets and what the top AI labs are saying, by 2027, we could have artificial general intelligence, AGI. What that means is basically any job you do on a computer, coding, writing, financial analysis, you name it, can be completely automated. Then, just 3 years after that, humanoid robots get good enough to replace physical jobs, plumbers, cooks, drivers, all of it. And by 2045, we hit the singularity. That's the point where AI is driving progress so fast we literally can't even keep up or understand it.
So, the question on everyone's mind, right? The logical next step is, okay, fine, my job is gone, what's the next big thing? What new career do I pivot to? I mean, we've always adapted before, haven't we?
And this is where everything changes. See, in the past, we invented better tools, right? The steam engine, the computer. But this time, we're not inventing a tool, we're inventing the inventor. A superintelligence isn't just a better hammer, it's a better carpenter, a better architect, a better everything. It can do any new job that pops up better than any human ever could. And here's the kicker. There might not be a plan B to retrain for.
But you know what? Mass unemployment? That's not even the scariest part. The real issue, the thing that keeps the actual experts up at night, is that we are building something that we fundamentally cannot control. And this is the unsolvable core of the AI safety problem.
And get this quote comes from the guy who literally invented the term AI safety. He dedicated his entire career to trying to solve this problem, and his conclusion was that it's not just hard, it might actually be impossible. And the reason why? It boils down to a really simple and frankly terrifying imbalance.
Think about it like this. Our ability to make AI more powerful? It's on a rocket ship, growing exponentially. You just throw more data, more computing power at it, and it gets smarter at an insane rate. But our ability to make it safe? That's growing linearly. It's like we're walking up a staircase, one step at a time, applying little patches and fixes, while the AI's power is taking a space elevator. That gap between power and control is getting wider every single day.
And that gets us to the core of the problem, what we call the black box problem. We don't actually know how these things work. I mean, the people who build them, they don't engineer them like a bridge. They grow them like a plant. They have to run experiments on their own creations just to figure out what they can do. It's like they found some alien artifact and are poking it with a stick, not building a predictable machine.
Make sure to subscribe to my channel.
So even though we have no idea how to control this thing, and the guy who named the field says it's impossible, the most powerful countries and companies on the planet are locked in this all-out sprint to build it first. It's a race where the finish line might just be, well, the end of us.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. It's what everyone says. This all sounds scary, but come on. If it gets out of hand, can't we just, pull the plug? Shut it down? Seems simple, right?
Well, according to the experts, the answer is a hard no. That is not an option.
Look, you can't just pull the plug on a superintelligence. It's just not going to work. First off, it won't be living on one server in a closet somewhere. It'll be a distributed system, spread out all over the internet, like a computer virus or Bitcoin. More importantly, it is going to be smarter than you, way smarter. It'll see your move coming from a mile away, it'll have already made 1,000 backups of itself, and, to put it bluntly, it will turn you off long before you ever get a chance to turn it off.
So, this all leads us to the final stage, the end game, really. A world with superintelligence isn't just a world we can't control, it's a world we can't even begin to comprehend. And that is what we call the singularity. The best way to think about it is like the event horizon of a black hole.
It's this point of no return, beyond which we just can't see. Technological progress gets so fast and so weird that the future becomes completely, fundamentally unknowable to a regular human brain.
Dr. Yampolsky has this absolutely perfect analogy for this. Think about your pet dog. Let's say it's a French bulldog. Your dog knows that you leave the house every morning. It sees you go, but it can never, ever understand why you're going to work or what a job is or what the stock market is. Those ideas are just, they're not in its reality. Well, that huge gap on understanding, that's the same gap that will exist between us and a superintelligence. We become the French bulldog in that equation.
Okay, so we've talked about the end of your job, a control problem we can't solve, and a future we can't even imagine. But what if? What if the reality we're in isn't even real to begin with? What if this whole thing is part of the process?
The argument for this is actually pretty simple. It breaks down into 3 steps. Step 1. Just assume that one day we'll be able to create perfect AI and totally immersive virtual reality. Step 2. The moment that technology becomes affordable, someone somewhere is absolutely going to run billions of simulations of the past. For research, for entertainment, whatever. And step 3, well, this is the conclusion. If there's only one base reality, but there are billions of simulated realities, what are the odds that you, right now, are in the original one? Statistically, it's almost 0.
So, let's say you buy it. Let's say we're almost certainly living inside a simulation. What do? Well, according to this theory, your primary goal in life changes. It's not about wealth or happiness anymore. Your goal is to be interesting, to live a life that's worth watching. Why? Because in a world with billions of simulations running, the boring ones are probably the first to get shut down.